Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is time for the Gnome Dies Sport Add Ons 1 assembly video. Hey, so I am using Jaded Blossom's Gnome Dies Sport Add Ons along with their Gnome Dies, their Girl Gnome Dies, their Gnome Dies 2, and their Gnome Dies Extra Parts Add Ons 1 and 2, just to make it easy. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to put together the helmet. So I cut out the main part of the helmet in pure poppy cardstock from Paper Tray ink, the stripe out of white cardstock from Paper Tray ink, and then the silver mirror cardstock is Recollections. Silver mirror cardstock, and there we go. So that's the three pieces of the helmet. Very simple. I'm just using some Barely Art glue. All my die cutting today was done with my Spellbinders Anna Griffin Mini Empress machine. There we go. Like I said, using Barely Art glue, my reverse tweezers, working on my Stampin' Up! Pad as per usual. So I'm going to try and point out these pieces as I use them. I found it very simple this time, but you can let me know. Okay, next I'm going to put together one of the gnomes from the Gnome Dies 2. So I'm adding on his little beard. That's just American Crafts cardstock. I used black cardstock as the main shadow or base layer. Doesn't show, so it doesn't matter. I also used some white pigment ink to ink around the edges of the beard. I used Close to My Heart White Daisy, but you could use any white pigment ink. Next, I'm going to pop up his little feet. These were cut from the P13 stamping pad skin tones that you can get from the Jaded Blossom store. So I'm just going to pop them up using Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. There we go. Whoops. I do weight down. When I cut things out, I weight them down after under an acrylic block, just so they dry nice and flat. Okay, so next I'm going to do some gnome surgery, cut off the top of that pointy hat. I'm going to add his little mustache in next. There we go. Now, the placement's a little bit different when you've got the helmet on, just because, the nose has got to show, but I want it all flat underneath the helmet. So this is how I line things up. There we go. And then I will put the helmet over top, as you can see. And I'll glue that down with some Barely Art glue. Now, obviously, you could make this to match your favorite team or your high school team or your university team or whatever you like. I just chose to go with red and white just to keep it simple for the video. Next, I'm putting together a hockey helmet, and I cut that out of American Crafts gray cardstock and Paper Tray ink white cardstock, and I'm going to layer those two together. And you see that I've got a gnome somewhat assembled to my left there. I'm going to trim off the hat. There we go. And you'll notice that all the helmets and everything fit along that the top of the beard. So I'm just going to layer that on. There we go. And I do weight it down with an acrylic block. I'm going to pop up his little mustache with some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. You see that I did use American Crafts brown cardstock, and I used black again for the base, and I used the White Daisy ink from Close to My Heart. And I'm just going to glue on his little nose, and that is from that P13 stamping pad skin tones. Now you could obviously use the little ice skates from our, the ice skate add-ons that we have, but I chose just to use the bare feet just for the point of the video. So next I'm going to put together this little cheerleader. So I cut out the base layer from the Girl Gnome Dies. Then I'm adding the dress cut out of Paper Tray ink white cardstock. So I'm just, lining that up using my reverse tweezers. I also used pure poppy cardstock on this because, remember, like I said, I kind of went all red and white for these, but you could make this cheerleader to match your high school cheerleading team, your college cheerleading team, your favorite team, in the NFL or what have you. So there we go. So next I'm going to add on the little face. So I'm overlapping the dress a little bit. You'll see that V, that's just the decoration for her uniform. And I cut that out of pure poppy cardstock. So I'm just sort of raising her little head up. And then I'm figuring out where her hat's going to go. The hat is just that same Pure Poppy cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. And I'm just going to layer that on. And I cut her hair from some brown cardstock from American Crafts. I'll be putting that on shortly. So the skirt I cut out of Paper Tray Ink Pure Poppy cardstock again. And I used the white for the other layer from Paper Tray Ink. And I'm just lining that up. And there you go. So you got a cute little cheerleader in a cheer outfit. And I do weight it down with an acrylic block. Next, I'll add her brown hair. That's that American Crafts brown cardstock. And then, isn't that cute? I think she's so cute. I'm going to pop up her little nose with Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. Her nose is cut from that same P13 stamping pad skin tones from Jaded Blossom. There we are. And you can layer her nose over her hat somewhat. Isn't that cute? I will pop up her feet. You know, obviously you could have given her shoes, but you know, for ease of the video, I just did all bare feet this time. There we go. That's that same P13 stamping pad skin tones. Now I am going to add little bows in her hair, cut from that Pure Poppy cardstock again. I used the bows from that Gnome Dies Extra Parts. Just that way I could cut a bunch of them at once. And I'm just using my Studio Katia embellishment wand to pick them up and stick them in place. Okay, so next I'm going to put together the little baseball cap. So you'll see that I've got my gnome somewhat put together. Remember, you always start with the boy gnomes, you start with their beard. Next, I'm going to layer on the baseball hat, cut out of Pure Poppy cardstock. And then I use some Doodlebug Plaid polka dot. I use the plaid. And I'm going to add on these pieces. Now, this is my mistake, so pay attention. I add the little bill of the hat on, or the brim, before I have the little nose and mustache on. But, you know, I fix it because I cut another brim is what I end up doing. So there we go. So there's my little hat. And I realize, oops, I'm going to have to do something with that. So I leave this in the video just to show you that I make mistakes too. And it hit me. Oh, that doesn't look right. Yeah, that's not going to work. So I'm going to move up this little brim. There we go. You'll see that it's a little bit off. So I do take the mustache off and I move it up just slightly. And then I will add on the little nose again. And I'm just gluing that down. And I'm gluing it flat just because the brim will cover these pieces and I didn't want any dimension there to do that. So there we are. I added the other brim and now it looks like it's like down low over his nose, right? Which is what they intended. Next, I'm going to just do these pom-poms. Now you could have left them as is. I decided to cut them in red and in white, Pure Poppy and Paper Tray Ink's white cardstock. And I'm just sort of, you know, twirling them around and I'm going to have a double layer. There we go. And now you can have little pom-poms for your cheerleader if you'd like. And like I said, you could do them to match whatever your favorite team is. Next, I'm going to put together the little bowling balls. So you got these two little pieces. Those are the rings on the neck of the bowling pin. That's cut from Pure Poppy. Okay, so I cut the base layer of that little pin in American Crafts black cardstock. It doesn't show, it doesn't matter. Next is Paper Tray Ink white cardstock for the pin. Now remember that base layer is mostly so you have a spot to put the hand. And I did use them in this video. You don't have to. You can put the hand wherever you want, but I chose to keep it in. Next, I went ahead and I cut out the layers of this little bowling ball in Paper Tray Ink black cardstock and Simon Says Stamp black glossy cardstock. So the bowling ball is kind of shiny. And then I'm going to add both of those layers, as you can see, to my American Crafts black cardstock base. That it doesn't matter, remember, it doesn't show. But I'm just going to add that to the little base piece so I can have a spot to put my hand. So next, there are little stitching lines to sort of show you where these two little stripes go. And they do match the curve of the bowling pin. So there we go, using my Studio Catchy embellishment one, just because it is a little finicky. And I do weight it down with an acrylic block. In the meantime, now I'm going to take some miniature Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and I will pop up the hands. That's that same P13 stamping pad skin tones. And there you go. There's the bowling pin and the little bowling ball. And then there's my little guy, and he's holding both. Kind of fun, right? Next, I'm going to put together the little tennis racket. So I cut it first out of American Crafts black cardstock for the little base, and then gray cardstock from American Crafts for the net part. So there we go. You can see me put this together. So I'm just going to add some glue to my base. Then I'll add my gray American Crafts cardstock. It's got a bit of a texture. Then the silver mirror cardstock is from Recollections, and we will add that in. That's going to be the rim of the tennis racket. There we go. And then I have the handle cut from dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. It's got little stripes on there. I'm not sure if you can see them. I'm trying to show you. Yeah. So there's little stripes. And there we go. And next I will put together the little ball, the little tennis ball, cut from Doodlebug's Candy Stripe and Sprinkles and American Crafts black cardstock. And then there's this little swoopy piece, and that is the white kind of line that's on a tennis ball. And that will go on the tennis ball. And it does line up with the stitching line that's already there. And I do weight it down. In the meantime, I'm going to glue together this megaphone cut from American Crafts black cardstock. And then I use some American Crafts yellow, just some smooth. Then this is polka dot plaid from Doodlebug. And I'll add that in. And then there's another little strip of that American Crafts yellow. And I'll stick that on. And there's the little megaphone. I've got to add her little hand after I weight it down. Okay, so next I'm going to add my little hands on the tennis racket and the little tennis ball, using those same Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, the miniatures. Those are kind of my favorite for this. And I'm pulling out some hands using my Studio Catchy embellishment wand to pick them up, making sure the thumb is facing in the right direction because that drives me crazy. And there we go. And there is the little gnome holding his tennis racket and his tennis ball. And I'm going to add on the little hand on her little megaphone. And then you can have a little cheerleader holding that old-fashioned megaphone. And there you go. Kind of cute, right? Okay, so next I'm going to put together a baseball bat, cut first out of American Crafts black cardstock. And then I use this woodgrain kraft cardstock. It's Gmund Tindalo. I believe Lawn Fawn makes something similar, so that's fine. I just wanted a wood grain kind of craft color. Next, I've got this grip that I did cut out a white just because, to make it look like it's taped up. And I'm going to add that to my bat, and it fits right in there, follows the curve of the bat. Next, I'm going to put together the little baseball cut first from American Crafts black cardstock again for the base. It doesn't matter, it doesn't show. Next is Paper Tray Ink white cardstock. And then there's two little nubbly stitching lines, right? And they follow the curve of the stitching lines that are on that white ball. And I do pick them up with that Studio Catchy embellishment wand again. And that's pure poppy cardstock from Paper Tray Ink again. So there we go. And I do weight it down with an acrylic block just to make sure it glues down nice and flat. There we go. Okay, so once that's done, I will add on my little hands with those same little miniature dimensionals. And there you go. So really easy stuff. And then you can have your little baseball player holding the ball and the bat. So I'm just adding my little hands. That same P13 stamping pad skin tones. And now here's my little batter. And here he is holding his ball and bat. So kind of cute, right? Next, we're going to put together this little pennant. I'm going to have the cheerleader holding it. Cut first out of American Crafts black cardstock, then dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray Ink, then pure poppy cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. Just so I've got a brown, like wood stick, and then the red pennant. That's what I was going for. You could make these any colors you want, right? Like I said, match your favorite team if that's what you'd like to do. And then I'm adding that on. And then I do weight it down with an acrylic block in between just to make sure it sticks flat, like I said. There we go. And then I will add on my little hand. Sort of popping it up like I always do. There we go, grabbing it with my reverse tweezers. And there you go. And I'll have my little cheerleader hold it, because why not, right? And she's holding a little pennant. Okay, so next I'm going to put together the little football cut from Paper Tray Ink dark chocolate cardstock and American Crafts black cardstock for that base layer with the hands. And I do weight it down. Now there are 3 little white pieces that you can cut out. There's this one that looks like stitches, right? That's going to be the grip. And then there are the 2 little white stripes that follow the curve of the football. And that's Paper Tray Ink white cardstock. And then I'm just adding those to each end. There we go. With a little bit of glue. And there you have it. And then I will add on my little hands. Once I weight it down, there we go. And I'll add my little hands on again. And I think that this was a pretty straightforward video. Like all of these little pieces kind of make sense, I think. There you go. And there is my little football player, and he's holding a football. Isn't that cute? Okay, so next I'm going to put together this little pickle ball bat. And remember, or paddle. And remember, you could make these any colors you want. I just chose to stick with the red and white again because that's what I'm going for. So I used American Crafts black cardstock for that base that doesn't show. Then I'm adding red and white cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. So pure poppy and white. There we go. Then the little grip, there we go, is cut out of Paper Tray Ink dark chocolate cardstock again. And I'll add that on. And fun stuff, you got a little pickle ball paddle. And then I will add on my little hand. Again, there we go. And that's from the Gnome Dies too, that little guy, right? And there he is holding his paddle. Next, I'm going to put together a lacrosse stick. So cut first out of American Crafts black cardstock for the base. Then this is Paper Tray Ink white cardstock. And then I did cut the stick and the rim or the edge of the net out of black Paper Tray Ink cardstock, but you could make this whatever color you want. And because these are 2 pieces, you could make the net rim one color and the stick that you hold on to a different color if you like, right? I chose to just stick to black, but you can choose that yourself. So there we go. Adding on my little stick layer. And then, there we go. And then I will weight it down afterwards, adding on a little hand so my little player can be holding his racket. There we go. Or lacrosse stick, I'm not sure. Is it a racket? It's not really a racket. There we go. So next I'm going to put together the little hockey stick. So cut first out of that same Paper Tray Ink or American Crafts black cardstock, then Paper Tray Ink white cardstock. There we go. Then I'm going to, the little stick grip, I cut out of red cardstock. It lines up perfectly with that stick. There we go. And then there's 2 little pieces of tape on the blade of the hockey stick, and they follow the stitching lines there. There we go. And then I'll add them to my stick. And I do weight it down with an acrylic block. And I also cut out there's a little hockey puck. So I cut the puck out of that Simon Says Stamp black glossy cardstock, and then I'm adding it to the American Crafts black base again. But remember, it doesn't show. You could use whatever color you like to use. I just like to use the black. That's just my preference. But, you know, any color would work. It doesn't really show anyway. So, you know, whatever floats your boat, really. Okay, so now I'm adding on my little hands. And there we go, and adding the hand on the puck. And now you've got your little hockey player. He's holding his little stick and his puck in his hand. And isn't he cute? Just too cute. So here are all my little characters. So I've got a football player with the football. I've got a baseball player with the baseball. I've got a little guy, and he is holding his pickleball bat or paddle. There's a cheerleader with a megaphone. There is a little hockey player with the hockey stick and puck. Then my little guy can be holding a bowling ball and a bowling pin. Or he can have a little tennis racket and a tennis ball. There we are. Or you could have his little lacrosse stick or his little pennant, you know. You can have your little cheerleader with some pom-poms. So whatever you like. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team. The Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on these amazing products. These will be coming soon to you. You can check out how to get them early. This is an amazing set. Remember, you could make these little guys to match your favorite team or your high school or, you know, or your children's cheerleading squad, whatever you want. Match it up and you'd have a really cute personalized little card, I think. So I just think these are super cute stuff and perfect for all your sporting needs. And remember to come back tomorrow to see the Gnome Die Sport Add Ons 2 assembly video, because I will have that for you as well. So thanks for watching, everybody, and come back soon. Bye.